Hey, what is up, guys? Back again, finally, with a long awaited update on the Integra. As you can see by the thumbnail in this video, I did get the registration through Vermont. I just got this plate in the mail last night, and this was what I got before. It was the temporary. So I was a little confused because the paper states what did it say? The paper said something like you have a certain amount of time to get the car registered, or the registration will void, or something like that. And it was just making it seem like you had to jump through a bunch of hoops. Like, here's a temporary plate, but your car is not registered. But then the actual plate came in. So I don't I don't know how it works. Like, I've never even registered a car, to be honest. I mean, the way I've seen it done was you fill out the paperwork and then you send it in, and if it's all good, they will send you out, plates for your car. When I did it, I got it wrong the first time, which was just the pricing, which was no biggie. They sent it back out. I, filled it out the right way, wrote a check for the other amount and sent it back. Then it's weird too, because now that this like virus is going on, for some reason everything seemed to have happened faster. I don't know. Maybe it's just because there's not people inside like taking up the time to do things like this. So they were able to process it, I guess, faster. And then, last night I was coming home from work and then it was in the mailbox. So I'm like, wait a minute, why am I getting an actual plate when it's saying that I have to basically the paperwork was saying that you have to you use the temporary, which is that one, to get the car inspected, and then once it gets inspected and passes inspection, it like finalizes everything or something like that. But then they sent this plate, which is the actual plate of the car. They sent the paperwork wrapped around this plate that gave me my the car VIN, my license number, everything with the antique plate. So I don't think that plate expires if I don't get it inspected. Correct me if I'm wrong. If any of you guys out there have done the Vermont registration for a car in New York with no title, let me know how it works, because I don't know everything. Obviously I had a good enough amount of information. I got, a registration for the vehicle, but for those of you that want to do this, do it. It works. I will be updating this video in the future just in case something goes wrong so that you guys know that. But for right now, as you guys who have been subscribed for this build, the car was purchased for $400. I rebuilt the motor that I have under my table, put that motor in. Car had no title. I did the Vermont registration, and bam, there it is. So now this car is back on the move. So now to give you guys an update of the car, why it's up on a jack stand, and yeah. So the car was running fine, perfectly fine, idling, everything. I took the car out for a spin, and the alignment was completely out of whack. I think this car was in a front end collision that messed with the caster. I think that's the word, caster. Yeah. So it was it was a very bumpy ride. It felt like things were moving around. So I did my own in-house alignment, and everything seems pretty good now, but I haven't taken the car out for a second drive because now the car won't stay idled. Like, it'll start up and then it'll basically bog down and then die. And then sometimes I come out, like when I freshly charged the battery, I started the car and everything was fine. And I was just like, but then it went back to the same thing. Once the battery was under load, it started doing the same thing. So finally, after looking through everything, I bought a new cap and rotor. I bought new spark plugs, everything. I was just going through things, looking at the wiring. Maybe it was something I did. And there's a guy, my neighbor. I don't know if you can see his house. That house straight ahead. That is my buddy John. He's actually working on a Fox Body Mustang. We're gonna have that up on the channel pretty soon because that thing is sick and it sounds amazing. We're just gonna be doing an overall tune-up and getting the car running good, just like this car. And then that's when we're gonna go into mods, because he wants to basically make that car a beast. So stay tuned for that. But he came over and we were working on figuring out the problem. So now that I had two people here who had a passion for cars, it was a little different. So when I started the car, he was, looking around underneath the hood, and he started pulling the plug coils out, the distributor wires, and that's when we noticed the misfire. And it was this plug, but then sometimes it seemed like it was this plug. So that's what, I started doing research of, misfires and stuff like that. And I was going through all the systems, like the symptoms. I traced the wires back to the ECU. I was thinking the ECU might have been corrupt, but it wasn't that. The cap and rotor was fine. I took the distributor apart, cleaned it. I messed around with the timing, advancing it. I was doing everything to see what was going on. I was literally about to take the head off the valve cover and check the clearances and everything. It wasn't that. The motor was in. It was in time. Like, I don't know what was going on. We actually have a timing light now, thanks to John again. He bought a brand new timing light from, what was it? I can't think of the website. It'll probably come to me during this video, but when I think about it, I'll say what site it was. But it was like $120, a really good light. So back to the problem. So basically, I passed a video that said it was a video about how to test your alternator, because I started looking into the alternator a little bit, because this car came with an alternator and it was fine, but for all I know, this alternator could have been on its last strings. But so the video was just saying to basically, hook up a voltmeter, get your battery's voltage, and when you start the car, the battery voltage should go up. And they said a bad alternator could cause misfires, and basically everything with your electrical system could be screwed because the alternator's regulator isn't doing what it's supposed to do. So I tested my battery. It was at 12.6, which is perfect. And as soon as I started the car dropped to like 11, and I was like, okay, that's not supposed to happen. And then I literally took the alternator out. I put the original alternator from the other motor in, and it didn't line up the right way because I believe the mount is different between the OBD1 alternator and the OBD2. I run a jumper because that alternator is the OBD2. And when I swapped it, it didn't put the right tension on the belt. So I took it off, cleaned the other one, like literally took it apart and got to the brushes and everything, cleaned it, sprayed it with electric circuit cleaner or contact cleaner, and that didn't work. So I think the alternator is just burnt out. So I will be buying a new alternator, and then I think I have my fingers crossed, but I think she'll be good to go. And once she's good to go, I'm gonna do an overall inspection first, because I still have an exhaust to put on her and stuff like that. But once that's done, I want to get her inspected. I have a guy that does a pretty well inspection, fairly cheap, and I'm gonna probably go through him, or who knows, maybe I'll find my own guy. This is a friend of a friend who says he's great. It's like in and out, but I'm gonna make sure it's doing everything, and then had to take a breath. I feel like I didn't breathe this whole time. Then as you guys, I don't think I mentioned to you guys, but that turbo kit that I purchased, I tried to send it back because just something like money got a little tight, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna send it back. It's still within basically the return date, and I tried to send it back, and like a week went by, and the mailman kept leaving these little tickets in my mailbox. So finally I read one, and it was saying that I had a package waiting for me. So I'm thinking this is something that I ordered, because I order a lot of stuff. As you guys, know from my channel, I've been building these bikes. I've been ordering a lot of stuff. I get down to the post office, and it's the damn turbo kit. So I was like, maybe this was destiny. So I have the complete turbo kit still. Now the car is registered. I narrowed down my misfire problem, and hopefully that is the problem, and this thing is running great when it's done. Because if that's the case, I'm swapping what I want from the other car. I'm pointing that way because that's where the car sits outside. I'm taking what I want from that car, and I'll replace it with what I take off of here, which is just going to be like the GSR front end. Not really front end, but you know, like the spindles. I already have new axles in here, as you guys have seen. The quick release, the Momo steering wheel, the full view rear view mirror, stuff like that. And yeah, so there was someone that commented on one of the videos and was like, Integra update with a question mark. And I have been trying to get around to do it, but it wasn't, they weren't like, I didn't know what was going on with the registration, and I didn't want to continue these videos just to end it in a sad, you know, which it still is possible, but you know, the plate gave me a little more motivation. So I've been out here tinkering with it. So now I just gotta go to advanced, and I'm gonna buy a new alternator, come back here, try it out, and if it doesn't work, obviously I'll return it, because then that means, you know, that wasn't the problem. But I think it's gonna be the alternator. The fact that my voltage dropped when I started the car, that like what else could that be? Like, come on. So the battery's brand new, the cap and rotor's brand new, the distributor wires are all fine. I have a second set just in case, which I did test, and they did the same thing. All my wiring is correct. My lights work. Everything works. The car was idled perfectly fine. But the voltage drops when I start the car. That's the alternator. So we will definitely get that swapped out. I just wanted to give you guys a update on the car. I did fix the other rim as well. So I bought a new compressor because I have to get, mine was just, it was just trash. That little 100 PSI little thing, it was trash. I got a better one. It's like a roofing one. It's not that crazy, but I don't want to keep you guys here for too long, because this video is probably more boring to you than it is for me, because you know, I've been waiting for all this to happen. But if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the Vermont registration and stuff, let me know in the comment section. I'll get back to you. I'm going to be pushing more car content coming soon, because we're going to work on the Fox Body Mustang over there. We're doing struts, water pump. There's a lot of things we're going to do to that car, because the car runs, but he wants it running tip top, and that's how I am. He's very particular with his cars. But you guys have definitely, he'll be making an appearance on the channel very soon. His name's John. He's cool. He's like, you know, insane about cars the same way I am. Like, you know, so I'm like happy we met. It's like, I'm like smack dead in the middle of the best of both worlds. I got a neighbor behind me who's all about like bikes and cars, and then a neighbor in front of me, and he's all about cars, and he's into bikes too, but you know, he's definitely into cars. Like you can tell, like he knows his shit. And yeah, I can't wait to do like a collab. I think he's going to start a channel as well, but if not, where he's definitely going to be a part of this channel, and not just for the Mustang build. Like there's going to be a lot, like, you know, down the line, like I don't know, maybe we could get a couple races in after the builds, you know. But yeah, stay tuned for that. So like I said, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more content like this, please leave a comment in the comment section, because I posted this video literally, I wasn't going to, and someone asked. When you ask, you shall receive. Don't ask for anything insane, because I'm not rich. But someone asked Integra update, so I put it out there. Sorry about how late I was, because that comment was probably from like, you know, 2 weeks, a month ago or something. But I didn't forget about you, and here it is. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel, because I need the support for both the bikes and the cars. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.